News and analysis at townhall.com. Violent
on-point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clear and comfy this evening with a low temperature dipping down to 61. Tomorrow, look for more sunshine to go with a warmer high of 85. On Thursday, we get a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, we are dry all week. We'll continue to warm up as the week goes on, too. We'll see the low 90s by the weekend. Summer's not over just yet. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make the point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Good to have you with us on this Talking Tuesday. If you weren't with us last night because of the holiday, welcome back, welcome back. I hope your holiday was nice. If you missed anything from the show last night, well, you missed a heck of a show. Overreaction Monday coming off the weekend. Don't forget you can find everything that you might miss on Sports Talk in a podcast form, the entire show and the various elements. SoundCloud, great place to go. Also Spotify. SoundCloud and Spotify to find anything that you might miss. It's a Talking Tuesday. Good to be back with you from the trip up to Clemson. What a beautiful day all over the state. But days like this, the upstate is particularly pretty with the blue skies and the white clouds dotting the blue skies and the temperature and the low humidity. I think the entire state today was bathed in good weather, even over in the PD area of Sardis, where Chris Bergen joins us from the Berge Palace. Good afternoon.
Hello, sir. Josh as well. We need some rain. I mean, I'm not going to wish the poor weather on top of what we currently have, but good grief. I was out, did a little yard work this afternoon, and it was mostly just mowing the dirt.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. It was.
That is so sad. Well, today we heard from Dabo Swinney and Shane Beamer. We'll be bringing you some stuff from both of those two. As a matter of fact, for those of you who follow this show very closely, you know that Dabo Swinney and I have I'd call it a special relationship, Bergie, a very special relationship. And so today, after of course, the Tigers lost on Saturday at home, and Tiger fans are in the dumps over that, right? And in today's world, whenever you lose, everybody's on the coach's back and everybody's on the back of the players, criticizing them left and right. And I felt kind of sorry for Dabo, felt really sad for him. And I called him aside before his press conference. I said, D. I call him D.
Call him D?
I call him D. I said, D, what can I do? Is there anything you want me to tell the people of South Carolina that will just maybe make it better for you?
Say we suck again. Tell everybody we suck. Yeah,
so there you go, ladies and gentlemen, from the horse's mouth. That is how you describe Clemson's performance on Saturday from the head coach. So, no, that's part of what you'll hear from him tonight as we play our segment with him. Dabo was he was in really good form today. I mean, he did not hold back in criticizing players by name, especially his quarterback. He called his quarterback out for, as he put it, not playing good football, not playing his best. And he's a dude, he says, and a dude's got to play like a dude. Now, he believes he'll bounce back and play at a very high level moving forward. And they'll get a chance to get healthy against this Troy team, though, of course, Dabo has great respect for Troy and their history of coaches. So he's not taking anything for granted, but he does believe that Klubnik and the others will bounce back and have a much better performance. He called out himself. He called out Garrett Riley for forgetting about something called the running game, for allowing the running game to go on vacation in the second half. That shouldn't have happened. He believes Clemson missed, 2-3 touchdown opportunities. Kind of should have won this game. And I see where Brian Kelly kind of took exception
Absolutely
to
did.
that. Dabo gave his team a grade of like 58%, and he gave LSU a grade of 85%?
No, 60.
Oh, was it 60?
They were passing. Yeah, they were like 63%. And Brian Kelly basically said, I don't know, maybe Dabo didn't watch the second half, but we dominated that game.
Yeah, he said we dominated the second half. I don't know what he's talking about. So, anyway, it is what it is, and it is a 17-10 loss for Clemson. The Tigers, you know what, it didn't damage them in terms of the AP ranking all that much. They're still ranked number 8 this week. South Carolina moved up to number 10 in the AP poll this week with their win against Virginia Tech over the weekend. We'll hear from Shane Beamer. Neither coach had much to say injury-wise with any sort of details. Khalil Barnes, Antonio Williams are day-to-day with Clemson. Both of them are dealing with hamstring issues. And South Carolina, no definitive update on the condition of Judge, who went out early in that game against Virginia Tech with a knee injury. Beamer did not share any details about exactly what the issue is. Obviously, you can speculate it's a sprain or it's something with the ACL, the cartilage, whatever. He just said that. What Josh?
He basically said,
yeah.
I'll let Josh do it because he covered the event, but it wasn't as bad as I think everybody feared when they saw Collier on the sideline.
Yeah. And then there's also the injury to Gear, who got hurt as well, and he too, I think, again, he didn't give any real details on that, just that they'll be back. I think he said it's nothing that's going to cost either one the entire season, and he hopes to have them back soon. So wait and see what happens there with that.
He labeled both of them as doubtful for this weekend, but did say they're both trying to get back to play this weekend. So, yeah, I think the Gamecocks may have dodged, especially with Judge Collier, dodged a major bullet there from what it sounds like from Beamer today.
Yeah. So we'll hear from Beamer coming up, and we'll hear from Dabo Swinney coming up as well. We'll also put the wrap on the Cookout Southern 500 with Josh Harris. Otherwise, we're going to take your phone calls again as we did last night. We'll open up the lines and take as many calls as we can get to give you a chance. This is your first time back with us this week. You haven't had a chance to express your feelings about the weekend. Phone number 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. Again, that phone number 888-898-2525. Learn more about the South Carolina Education Lottery's impact at scheducationlottery.com/educationwins. Playing for fun is a win for education. And our text line number, presented by Larry Lucas Insurance, 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. This is a Touchstone Energy Cooperative's Talking Tuesday. Find your co-op at touchstoneenergy.com. touchstoneenergy.com. So we'll hear from the two head coaches, and we'll update some recruiting and some other notes as well. Anything else from Josh, pull up. Josh, the plumber, covered Shane Beamer today, and pull up your microphone there real quick, plumber. Anything else from the South Carolina press conference that stood out in your mind?
The only thing I'll say is what stood out to me and that I think other people are not taking as seriously is Coach Travian Robertson or Robinson? Robertson. I think people are not taking it as serious. I think it's more serious than people are thinking.
You gathered that from Coach Beamer?
I do. I think I can tell from the way his body language that he's saying it's not as serious, and that he said he was not going to be there for the game against SC State, but I think it's more serious than we had thought originally, for sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I think it'll be a few weeks before he's back for sure. But no, I think it was pretty bland after.
Pretty bland.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I did think it was funny. Speaking of Travian Robertson, he did mention what I speculated, when we found out he wasn't going to be in Atlanta for the Virginia Tech game. And I asked you, do you think he's going to pull Lou Brown from Major League 2 and be in the hospital bed and watching the game?
Yeah.
And evidently he was. And the nurses, according to Coach Beamer, had to come in and check on his blood pressure.
Really?
They had to come in and give him blood pressure medicine because his blood pressure was too elevated during the game. He was too excited.
Funny.
Yes.
That's funny. But, that's a good sign then.
I think so too.
If he's alert and able to follow things in the football game, that's got to be a good sign. All right, phone number 888-898-2525. We'll get to some of your phone calls coming up in just a moment. The new AP ranking out this afternoon. You have Ohio State ranked number 1 with 56 of the 73 first-place votes. Penn State is number 2. Make that 60 first-place votes. 56 of 60. So Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, LSU moves up to 3. They moved up 6 spots. Then it's Georgia and Miami. Rounding out your top 5, Miami moved up 5 spots. Then it's Oregon, Texas, Clemson, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. So Texas dropped 6 spots with this loss to Ohio State. You look at this top 10, what do you think? I mean, again, it's still an overreaction first regular season ranking. I think LSU is probably deserving of where it is. I would say I still think Ohio State, their quarterback's got to show me more. I think Ohio State's going to take some losses along the way. I mean, I don't think again, it's just a one-game example, but I don't know that they have the great quarterback that they've had over the years. And if you don't have the great quarterback, you're not going to go real far. LSU, I think, might be the most complete team in the country right now. Again, that's off of one game, but to go into Clemson and win in that setting was pretty doggone impressive. Ohio State beat Texas, but they were at home. Miami beating Notre Dame. I just never believe in Miami. They always stumble somewhere along the line. Oregon, I don't know enough about yet right now. Texas, Clemson. I think Clemson might be overrated right now at number 8. I would have probably dropped them into the second 10. I mean, again, they only scored 10 points. I hear Sweeney talking about all the missed opportunities. The problem is they're missed opportunities.
You missed opportunities, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't live off of missed opportunities. South Carolina might be a little high at number 10. They didn't look like a top. They looked like a pretty solid team to me Sunday, but they didn't look like a top 10 team. But that's where they are because they started out at number 13. I mean, I might would have put Florida State. That was impressive what they did to Alabama. I mean, and I know people are riding Alabama pretty hard, and their quarterback didn't play well, and overall they didn't play well. Let's see what they do in the next couple of weeks. And they're probably being ranked 21 is probably about right for them. I might would have put Tennessee a little bit higher than 22. I think they hit on something with Aguilar as their quarterback.
He's a darn good quarterback.
I think they won that trade, didn't they?
I think so. Oh, absolutely. Because Nico, I'm leaving you. I don't know that he's going to prove much out at UCLA, but I think Joey Aguilar is an underrated quarterback, and I agree with you. But let's not overlook the fact, Phil, and to put it in the story today. How about our state? We are the only state in the union, football mad that the United States is. We're the only one in the United States that can claim 2 schools in the top 10.
Very nice. Palmetto State rules, baby.
Exactly.
That's what we do. That's why nobody can touch us.
At least for this week.
Yeah, listen, what do we have that's better than anybody else? We got that. We got the best port city in the country in Charleston. Nobody can outshine Charleston. What else do we have that's good?
Beaches.
Our beaches. I'll take our beaches over anybody's beaches.
That too, but yeah. Peaches with a P.
Oh, did you say peaches?
Peaches.
Oh,
yes.
Peaches. Well, I'll take our peaches. Our peaches and our beaches.
Yes, exactly.
I'll take those.
The best roast beef in the state of South Carolina.
We have the best catering business.
Oh, exactly.
Seawell's best catering business in the country. So we got a lot of the best ofs here in South Carolina. All right, a couple of other things. This is not the best of. Former Gamecock star Darius Thornwell arrested on domestic violence charge today. He got into something with a girlfriend and with a baby. overnight, and he's been taken to the Glenn Detention Center. He was granted a PR bond at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So his attorney said, we are asserting his innocence in these accusations and ask everyone to withhold judgment until this is resolved in a court of law. He has admitted to throwing a cup of water at the woman, but has denied all the other accusations in this particular case. So
I hope that's the case, because there is never an excuse, much like the situation we dealt with a couple of weeks back with Ian Shefflin. There's never an excuse for driving drunk. There's never an excuse for a man to hit a woman.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that Sindarius is correct, and this just is a he said, she said situation that she's blaming him more so. But, yeah, if that's not the case, Sindarius, come on, can't be doing this.
According to Dana from Bet Online, Clemson is odds-wise 10-13 to make the CFP with a 56.52% chance. South Carolina 11-2 with an 11.76% chance to make the CFP. Your phone calls coming up.
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand, because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit to foundersfcu.com to get you started. Relax, you've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller-Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
All right, phone number 888-898-2525. Let's get to them. Let's hear what you've got to say. 888-898-2525. And, of course, the text line number is 803-900-4847. We go first tonight. Tiger Bryan. Tiger Bryan over in Lancaster, home of Sindarius Thornwell. Hello, Tiger Bryan. How you feeling, bud?
I hate to hear that about him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I swear I do. You hadn't heard no trouble in Lancaster, when he went off and everything. And then all of a sudden, You know, hey, if he put his hand on his woman, he'll be in jail. You know me?
Well, let's innocent until proven guilty. Let's get all the facts
I
here.
know. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but the game, I had 17 right, didn't I? I said they would get 17. I said 31-17. I did. I had 17 right now.
You did.
There you go. I'm gonna try to hit the lottery tonight.
You get credit for only being half wrong.
I know. Well, I was all disappointed today.
I bet.
Hey, but you know what? Our defense, they improved compared to what we were last year. And I'm gonna tell you, LSU's with. I mean, they there.
Yeah.
They there now. I mean, I bet they'll put more than they'll put more than 17 on South Carolina.
I think South Carolina will have its hands full when it goes to Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir. But yeah, it's all good. Like you said, first game, everybody's this, that. They pump the Clemson every time they pump us up. We always fall. But that's all right. We're gonna be good. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be real good this year.
You're not giving up. You're not giving up.
Oh no. Tiger Brown ain't never give up. You know that. Ask anybody that knows me. Yeah.
Tiger Brian, did you go to the race this weekend with our tickets we gave you?
No, I didn't, because y'all gave me them old cheap tickets. I had to stay home and watch the ball game. Yeah.
What do you mean cheap tickets?
We gave you great
y'all
tickets.
supposed to give me some Clemson tickets instead of race. I sent my boys down there. They went down there.
Okay, you did use the tickets.
Yeah, they did use them. I had people use them. You know me?
I was about to say. Hey, you ever
go?
I was talking with someone today, or exchanging email with a former resident of that area. You ever go to a place called the Wagon Wheel?
Oh yeah, I ate there today. Matter of fact, Bill and all. Yeah,
I hear it's
fried squash you ever eat.
I'm told it's good.
Yeah, I ate there today. Beef tips. If you go in there, get the beef tips, fried squash, macaroni cheese. Man, I'll tell you.
Just ask for the Tiger Bryan special.
Yeah, that's right. You ask Mr. Bill. My son that went to Clemson, my oldest boy, Tyler the Tiger, up there in Belton now. Right before you get up there at Clemson, he busted tables there for 3 years. He was high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
He comes home every year. He stops in there. He eats free.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good trade.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tiger Bryan, thank you, man.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell y'all what.
Yep.
Hey, if we don't get a running back, I know the offensive line, we lost, Parks was out. I hope he gets back in. But LSU's for real now. I ain't going to give them, I'm not taking, they are. They come out there with 1-0 on their shirts. Dabo didn't have my boys ready. He should have played all that bullshit, BS they was talking about before the game, and got them boys ready and pumped up. They ought to been pumped. They ought to been running down there like mean men coming down the hill.
Yep.
They didn't.
Yep.
But you know what?
They
play the game.
It's like I like to say, and thank you, TB. Appreciate it. You got all the hype videos over the summer. You got all the talking. You got all this, that, and the other, and it don't help you when you step on that field for that first game. That's going to find out exactly what you're all about. Now, Clemson's still pretty good, Bergie. You're not going to throw dirt on them after one loss like that, and they're going to probably cover against Troy. They should just manhandle Troy. They're going to play a lot of players. You're going to see a lot of running backs. You're going to see them really try and force the running game. I'm guarantee you're going to see them run the football. Depending on what Troy does defensively, of course. But, even that, Clemson's going to try and impose their will and run the football just to show that they can run the football and get these running backs going. And then they're going to go to Georgia Tech, and that's going to be a whale of a football game in Atlanta on the 20th. The 13th, I'm sorry. The 13th at noon in Atlanta. That's going to be a whale of a football game. That's going to be one of the few tests that they should have in the ACC. If they pass that test in Atlanta, that will tell me they've gotten the ship somewhat rightened, and they're probably going to, have some smooth sailing. In Florida State, they got to navigate at home. That's not going to be an easy one now from what we can tell. And certainly after we saw North Carolina last night, that should be – how bad was that? How ugly was that for the Tar Heels? Just the second half in particular with everybody leaving at halftime.
But yeah, and give North Carolina fans credit for showing up to begin with. I mean, normally they don't even bother to show up for football. So they came, and then they realized, oh, my gosh, this is about what we expect every year from our football program. But, yeah, they were terrible. It was almost like Belichick had just walked on campus. But in fairness to them, and again, trying to avoid being overly dramatic after the first game, when you bring in 70 new players – I mean, it's almost like what we're seeing at the group of 5 level. I mean, when you have 70 new players, really hard to get any continuity. And when they started falling behind, you didn't see a whole lot of leadership on that team trying to rally them. I mean, TCU just basically did whatever they wanted to.
Yeah, I didn't give TCU enough credit for being a pretty good program. Not a pretty good program, a really good program. I didn't give them enough credit. I thought the Tar Heels would rise above. Okay, more calls coming up.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clear and comfy this evening with a low temperature dipping down to 61. Tomorrow, look for more sunshine to go with a warmer high of 85. On Thursday, we get a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, we are dry all week. We'll continue to warm up as the week goes on, too. We'll see the low 90s by the weekend. Summer's not over just yet. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
The city. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says the U.S. has carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela that was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. The president said 11 were killed in the operation. He said in a Truth social media posting the strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. 8 people were killed and 50 others were wounded over the Labor Day weekend in dozens of shootings in Chicago. President Trump has seized on crime to justify a greater federal law enforcement role in Chicago. The city persistently struggles with spikes in shootings during summer holiday weekends, particularly on the south and west sides. More details at srnnews.com.
Sometimes timing is everything, and I've been talking the talk about Broker Solar for a good minute. I'm a fan. I've had some Point listeners ask me about Broker Solar. They're on the fence because of what's going on in D.C. Now that the politics have settled, we know what's in that big, beautiful bill. We know the federal tax credit for getting solar power at your home. It's going to end in December, so the clock is ticking. You want that 30% federal tax credit, believe or just call Ken and his team, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, brokersolar.com.
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan, but that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward with flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit. thefoundersfcu.com to get you started. Relapse. You've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Yo, did you see these shirts we made for the party? They're fire.
I still can't believe we got those printed so fast. Where did we even get them done again?
Bardak Design. They're right on campus by the fairgrounds. Literally the best spot to get custom tees. You can't beat their prices, and can you believe how great they came out?
Oh yeah, they're super chill about designs. You can bring your own or they'll help you out. And it's all so affordable.
Plus the turnaround. Lightning fast. They are super cool. And before I knew it, I had my swag.
Exactly. Bardak Design, 1334 Rosewood, in the heart of Carolina student housing. If you want custom gear for your group or event, they're the go-to. Seriously, it's where all the super cool designs happen.
Go see them or give them a call. 254-7940. Every time we've needed them, Bardak on Rosewood comes through with top-notch merch.
Bardak Design, 1334 Rosewood Drive. Custom tees, just a few steps from the heart of campus. Call 254-7940. That's 254-7940.
Do this everywhere we go. I think you know this ain't no one-horse rodeo. I think you know when we pull up, green lights our show. I think you know that we gon' run it till we running out of road.
All right, we're back. Sports Talk Media Network. 888-898-2525 is the number. Dabo Sweeney and Shane Beamer coming up on this Talking Tuesday, and Josh Harris. The Panthers released their depth chart today for their season opener, and you've got Hunter Renfrow starting at wide receiver. Go figure.
So let's cut him, and then let's bring him back and make him a starter.
Yeah.
All right.
And you've got Xavier Legette starting at wide receiver. Of course, Bryce Young, the quarterback. Rico Dowdle is the number 2 running back. And let's see, on the defensive side, you've got J.C. Horn starting at cornerback. And any other state ties here? Oh, DJ Wanham starting at outside linebacker. Man, they're loaded with Gamecocks and Tigers here. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, Bam Martin Scott. Bam Martin Scott's a backup at linebacker. Anybody else? I think that's it for now that I can see on their 2 deep. So thing has a definite South Carolina influence, to say the least, with all those.
Yeah, it's sort of been the way the Panthers have done things over the years. Phil, they lean heavily into the Gamecocks, and for whatever reason, they've never really leaned into the Tigers, even though that was the school that allowed them to play their first season. Mm-hmm. But they rarely get any Clemson guys. So yeah, the Renfrow situation never made any sense to begin with. I mean, he was good enough to make the team, you thought. Then they cut him, and then they bring him back, and now he's going to be a starter on Sunday.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Go figure.
Yep. A couple of other quick notes to pass along to you. We'll get back to those phone calls. Phone number 888-898-2525. South Carolina's 8th. Clemson is 8th. South Carolina's 11th. This week's ranking of the Super 16 by the Football Writers Association of America. The coaches poll. You saw that. Where were they ranked in the coaches poll?
Let's see. Clemson was 8th. They dropped, I think, 2 spots, and the Gamecocks moved up 2 spots to 11th.
Number 11. Okay. And little social media note here that former darling of the Gamecocks, Mike Uva, who has been working for Gamecock Central while also working for a television station in Providence, Rhode Island, has taken the job at Coastal Carolina with the official title of Associate Athletics Director for Communications and Media. So Mike Uva going to be working with you at Coastal Carolina, and he's going to be overseeing all facets of media relations and digital storytelling strategy for the Chanticleers. Chance Miller, the AD. Of course, they knew each other when Chance was at South Carolina and Uva was working primarily for, he worked in TV in Columbia at the Fox station. Then he took a job with, I think he's from Boston, or from up in New England. He went back up there, worked, and then he took a job at Gamecock Central. He did a great job ingratiating himself to Gamecock fans, both on the television side and with Gamecock Central. He became one of them, and now he'll have to become a Chanticleer.
Most recently, he got engaged at Williams-Brice.
Yeah, with the help of Coach Beamer.
Yes, he did. I didn't realize you were such a close observer of Plummer. You're such a close observer,
I remembered
Mr.
it. I remembered his
Uva.
name. I thought it was him. And
yeah, it was him.
It was funny. He was actually in town last week, I guess it was at the first Tim Beck radio show, excuse me, and then was at the press conference on Wednesday before they officially announced him. And I heard him telling a lot of stories about his Gamecock days, and I was thinking, you're going to have to stop telling those stories, Mike, because you've got to start, as you did such a great job with Gamecock fans, he now has to maneuver over and ingratiate himself to Coastal fans.
Yeah, that's a tough job, apparently. He's the third SID that Chance Miller has had in his office. I mean, he immediately let Rickson Lane go, and Rickson, of course, one of our former guys here at Sports Talk, a great guy, a great talent, both on the air and also in that particular field. But Chance decided to clear out that office, brought in some people, and now he's moved – I think he's moved some people around to open up this position. So good luck, Mike Uva, and I hope you enjoy the color teal because that's what you'll be decked out in moving forward. All right, let's get back to the phones.
Everybody. I mean, I saw Mike's shirt. I mean, he looks good in teal. I mean, it's a nice color on virtually everybody.
It doesn't look good on the Hornets.
Well, no, but it's because the Hornets make it look bad.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the color. It's like the Panthers. They've got teal as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the color's fault. It's the team in the colors.
Exactly. All right, let's go to Hank in Columbia. Next up on Sports Talk. Hank, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Corn. Trying to get you to give Carolina the same benefit of the doubt you give Clemson all the time.
What did I not give them? What did I not give them?
Well, two things. First, the other night, I think the guy called in and asked if you were looking at the Heisman. He didn't say what the Heisman would be down halfway down the season. He just said coming out of the weekend if you were looking at the Heisman. And I think you threw a little Nussmeier in there. But you didn't give. You said you thought the Norris thing was just kind of average, and of course he can be more explosive. But I think you could have given Rush a little bit more love since he kind of showed a little bit of all of the skill sets he had from running the team, passing for a touchdown, running for a score, and most importantly at the end of the game, kind of a la Connor Shaw, you get the ball with 4 minutes and you personally end the game by continuing to move the chains. I thought you could have done a little bit there with that.
My Heisman standards are pretty high. My Heisman standards are pretty high.
Yeah, but he didn't say it at the end now. He just said, as of coming out of this weekend.
Well, I didn't think he looked like a Heisman Trophy winner this particular weekend. Now, he might, if he impresses me against Vanderbilt, and I'm not taking Vanderbilt for granted anymore. Vanderbilt's pretty salty. Not taking them for granted. So let's see him against SEC competition. I want to see how far he's grown, how far he's come against SEC competition. Though Virginia Tech wasn't bad, but I want to see him. I want to see him game in, game out against the SEC.
Well, I just say that because the other ones who were pretty much put up there for that award, either Nussmeier was kind of, if you said he was average, then you had to say Nussmeier was pretty average in the LSU game. But then all the other ones were kind of bad. So coming out of there, I think I would have given him at least as much a chance as Nussmeier. And then you go and you talk about, well, Carolina, you're going to look like a top 10 team. Well, which teams below them, 2 or 3 below them, would replace them in the top 10? Because if you look at Bama, Florida State was bad with Bama, but Florida State was unranked coming in because they come off a 2-10 year, and Alabama had like 2 or 3 of those type games last year. And I have no problem with you saying, well, Clemson's 8. But if Clemson's 8 and you have no running game,
I don't think Clemson should be 8.
I say that Carolina couldn't be 10.
I don't think Clemson should be 8. I think they're too high.
Well, you didn't say
I
that.
think they were. I did say they were too high. I did say that Clemson shouldn't be. Did I not say that, Bergie?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
You
you're
said
not
they
listening,
probably should
Hank.
be below
Hank,
South
you
Carolina.
have selective retention. You have selected hearing and selective retention. I did say that Clemson is too high, And I think South Carolina may be a little high at number 10. Nothing wrong. I mean, 10's great. Where you're ranked right now is, I'm not going to say it's irrelevant, because if you keep winning, then you're going to improve your position, and this will be some data that the committee will look at if you don't win the automatic bid. So all this is good. I'm just saying that there's no reason to rush it. You just keep winning your games and take care of business. It won't matter, you know.
I don't care if
the Gamecocks by the end of September. If things go well, you know, as South Carolina would plan it, if things go well in the month of September, by the time October rolls around, South Carolina should be 5-0. They should be 5-0 at this point. I think they should. I think they should beat Missouri. Quarterback, one of their quarterbacks got hurt. I don't know how bad he's hurt right now, but he got hurt Saturday. The two-sport star. Kentucky looks like a mess. They should be able to beat Vanderbilt at home. State this week. They should be 5-0 going to LSU. Should be 5-0. They should, and that would put them. That would probably put them, deservedly or not, in terms of just really how good they are, because this is not an extremely challenging top first 5 games, but they'll be ranked 5 or 6 going to LSU probably.
Well, my thing, Corner, is you see that if I don't care if they're top 10 or not. I was just talking about how you kind of throw it out there, and I must have missed when you said Clemson shouldn't have been in there.
You did.
If you got a team,
yeah.
I'll apologize if I missed that, because if you got a team that had no running game, and you basically have what Clemson's been the last couple of years with some of the way that club looked Saturday night, and I ain't saying Carolina is all that in a bag of chips. I'm just saying in every facet, you know, Carolina's got some struggles on the offensive line that they got to fix. I think really primarily at that left guard position.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, and even though the game kind of got stalled in there, and that may be that Virginia's a lot better because they took like 40-something transfers than they were last year, kind of all of Florida State. If you look at that game the other night, in every other facet, some of the major questions you had going in that game came out a little bit better than you thought, which was special teams that you've been saying for the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about them interior tackles, but if you looked at Gabriel Denley, whatever that Gabriel guy in the middle, he didn't look like a guy that just had a couple of snaps, and they were getting pushed up the middle.
I liked it. No, I like their defensive tackles. Yeah. I thought the whole, and we got to run. Thank you, Hank. Brownlow Dindy, I thought, went in there and did well. He plugged up the middle. Pikes played a little bit. Barrett was in and out. They rotated several guys. They got a lot of bulk in there, Berkey, and they filled those gaps pretty nicely, I thought, which is what you want your defensive tackles to do, and that freed up those linebackers. Those linemen were not getting out and getting on those linebackers, and that way they could kind of run free and make those plays.
I thought Carolina's defense was a whole lot better Sunday than I anticipated they would be, because we touched on, laid out all the reasons why when you lose 5 guys to the NFL, you anticipate a fall off. Now, we'll find out if they prove to be as good as they were last year, but I don't think they took a major step back this past Sunday for sure. And we're going to find out how good Vanderbilt is, because, they get Virginia Tech this weekend. So you get a really good gauge comparison.
Absolutely. Okay, back with more calls in a moment. Don't go away.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
G3 here with Tsunami Bar Sports, and it's time for a fall preview. That's right, 720 Chris Drive, 378 and I-26, Frontage Road, where you can now preview the best technology for golf known to man. It's the Tsunami Bar. It's live weight. It's the only technology out where you get your tempo and flow going before you play. Now, it also serves as a pattern support tool. 720 Chris Drive, Frontage Road, 378 and I-26. You also can visit the Garage Gym Pro Shop. Pick up your tools, take them home, and while you're here, tour the Scramble Course 6-hole pitch and putt right now.
All right, we're back. Sports Talk Media Network. Phone number 888-898-2525. Our poll question of the week here on Sports Talk, brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance. Make sure you get over to our X, which is SC Sports Now, SC Sports Now, or our website, SportsTalkSC.com. Get that vote in. After week one, which of these statements is closest to the truth? Clemson, the sky is falling. USC, the sky is the limit. Or too soon to tell. 72% of the votes, too soon to tell. 28% USC, sky's the limit. Nobody believes the sky is falling on Clemson at this point. I'd agree with that. I think probably number 3, too soon to tell, is the most accurate description there.
Unless Troy upsets them this weekend.
No. Sky not only will be falling, it'll be plunging. All right, we got some text messages. Ron from Charleston, a little concerned with the amount of rush attempts for Sellers, especially towards the end of the game. Why not use one of your running backs? Why risk injury unnecessarily unless you don't trust your running backs to hold on to the ball? Ron in Charleston. Ron knows how to do it. He put his name on there. He put his location on there. Made good comments. Bobby in Georgetown. Bobby, he's got the drill down. Can't worry about Sellers getting hurt. Maybe more design runs with blocking will minimize chances of getting hurt. He is best running back on the team. If we don't win early games, later games won't mean as much. All good points there. Is he the best running back? He's a very capable runner as a quarterback. Is he the best running back on the team? I thought Faison had some flashes. Attaway had a good run. This is from the 843.
How many carries did he have Saturday or Sunday?
Sellers? I think it was 13. Yes. I want to say 13.
You know how many he averaged last year per game?
How many?
13.
Well, there you go.
14. So they ran him about what they normally do.
Sellers coming back for one more year? ? Is Kilgore a safety or corner? He's a safety. He actually plays the nickel primarily, so I think he's considered a safety. In the NFL, I don't know. I'm not an NFL talent scout. I like Kilgore. I think Kilgore, you talk about development, taking a guy and developing, they've done a great job with him. Gamecock Tony from Lancaster. Yeah, they will beat Troy because they will be back down to their level. SEC is not for them, obviously. All right? Yeah, Clemson will get healthy this weekend. This is from Roy. No, I can't read everything he writes. No, Ray. I'm sorry, Ray, not Roy. Let's see. Apparently, referring to Brian Kelly, apparently Kelly doesn't know the meaning of domination. Nobody knows the meaning of victory. Let's see. What else can I read from him here? Not very
Clemson
much.
didn't score in the second half, right?
That's correct.
That's exactly what Brian Kelly said. We dominated them in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty accurate.
Virginia Tech missed a lot of passes, couldn't hold on to the ball. All right. What else we got here? From the 843, can you... okay. This is clean. Can you ask Hank if J.C. Horn married Bree Hall? Hank, did J.C. Horn marry Bree Hall? Are they an item, those two?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Look that up for me, Plummer. And this is from the 803. How many Gamecocks from last year's team made NFL rosters or taxi squads? We went over that, last week. Let me see if I'll have to pull my story back up on that. A pretty fair number. Mm-hmm. This current class did pretty well as far as the NFL is concerned. This draft class. What you got, Plummer? Do we have an item or not? I mean, this isn't on the level of Kelsey and what's her face.
I can't confirm this, but I am seeing yes. I am seeing that they are definitely an item. I'm even seeing a possible. Okay, I cannot. Okay, never mind. Yes, they are an item.
Okay.
Yes.
I've got to teach you that, and you're doing a good job. I've got to teach you that when you go on the air to broadcast that you actually have to speak.
Yeah.
Clearly. And with some confidence.
Well, I saw a post on Facebook saying, congrats are in order for former Gamecocks Bree Hall and J.C. Horn. And it was a picture of them congratulating for a baby girl or something.
Well, there you go.
It was them holding a national championship something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was no baby.
Okay. All right, there you go. Let's get back to the phone calls. 888-898-2525. We cover everything for you here on Sports Talk. We go to Andy in Columbia. Andy, welcome into Sports Talk. Nice win yesterday by your Mets down in Detroit. Appreciate you handing the Tigers a loss. Welcome in.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, Chris. Hello, Josh. Hello, Corn. And I need
Andy.
to apologize for not giving you a mazel tov on little Theodore Kornblut there.
Oh, well,
Korn.
thank you. Thank you very much.
I just hope that the young man does not carry his grandfather's athletic gene or hairline gene. So I'm sure right now he does.
The bald truth will live on.
But to answer the question on J.C. Horn and Bree Beal, they just had a baby about a month and a half ago.
Well, congratulations to the happy couple.
And now when you were going down the depth chart for the Charlotte, whatever they are, I didn't hear
the Charlotte Panthers. You're right, the Charlotte. And then you know what? Well, they should call them the Charlotte Panthers. I got no problem with that. Call them the Charlotte Panthers.
Yeah. Where's Xavier Legette?
He's starting. I mentioned him. I did. I said
you did?
Legette. It's pronounced Legette.
Is he starting?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
What is wrong with you people?
Well, sometimes we have selective hearing on what we want to hear come out of your mouth.
Well, that's what Hank's got the same issue.
I'll tell you one thing though, it can't. That Charlotte team must be some mess when Thielen will take a $26 million pay cut to get his little bud out of Charlotte to go back to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It doesn't say much at all for that organization. Because I'll tell you what, $26 million is a lot of money to leave on the table.
Here's the question. I mean, really, the Panthers, they really stunk in the preseason. I know it's preseason, and that doesn't always dictate what your regular season is going to be. But for a team that hasn't won anything, I would have thought they would have gone out in the preseason to try to develop a little winning moxie here. So now they're going to go into the regular season. Who do they open up against?
Jacksonville.
Okay, so they're going to go into the regular season not having that good feeling of winning, and people are thinking, here we go again. Where are they playing that game?
It's in Jacksonville. Matter of fact, their first 2 games are on the road.
Not to mention, let's not forget that they hardly played their starters.
That's right.
They didn't play them at all in the last game, and they hardly played them at all preseason.
Mm-hmm. 0-2. They'll be. Who's the second game?
Arizona.
0-2. They'll be 0-2.
And then they get the Falcons to open up divisional play.
Won't have any trouble getting Panthers tickets by end of September. They'll be readily available.
You won't have any trouble getting any tickets to your Packers at all.
Did I ask? Who said you could speak?
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he'll direct federal law enforcement intervention to combat crime in Chicago and Baltimore. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
We're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
The president will be taking action over the objections of state and local officials in both Chicago and Baltimore.
We're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
Donald Trump has already sent National Guard troops into Washington and federalized the police force here in the nation's capital, where he has legal authority. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Israel is calling up reservists ahead of a new military offensive in Gaza. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
The beginning of September call-up comes as ground and air forces press forward and pursue more targets in northern and central Gaza, including Zaytun, once the city's largest neighborhood with markets, schools and clinics. Zaytun has been transformed, streets emptied and buildings reduced to rubble as it becomes what Israel's military last week called a dangerous combat zone. The reservist call-up will be gradual and will include 60,000, Israel's military said last month. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
President Trump says the U.S. has carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela that was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. The president said 11 were killed in the operation. He said in a social media posting the strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. On Wall Street, a down day as the Dow dropped 249 points, the Nasdaq down 175, the S&P 500 declined 44. More at townhall.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words micro, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 micro. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Two familiar corporate food brands are ending their mega food merger.
10 years after Kraft and Heinz got together in a major merger that created one of the biggest food companies on the planet, they're splitting up. Now one of the companies will include shelf-stable meals and brands such as Heinz, Philadelphia cream cheese, and Kraft mac and cheese. The other will include brands such as Oscar Mayer, Kraft Singles, and Lunchables. The company in 2015 wanted to capitalize on its massive scale, but shifting tastes complicated those plans. With households seeking to introduce healthier options at the table, I'm Julie Walker.
A federal judge ordered a major makeover of Google's search engine in a crackdown aimed at curbing the corrosive power of an illegal monopoly, but rebuffed the U.S. government's request to break up the company. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters. Emergency.
On point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clear and comfy this evening with a low temperature dipping down to 61. Tomorrow, look for more sunshine to go with a warmer high of 85. On Thursday, we get a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, we are dry all week. We'll continue to warm up as the week goes on, too. We'll see the low 90s by the weekend. Summer's not over just yet. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make the point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we are back at Sports Talk Media Network. Great to have you with us here on Sports Talk Media Network across the state of South Carolina. If you're just joining us, missed a great first hour. A lot of terrific phone calls. Appreciate the phone calls. Don't forget, if you missed anything on the show tonight, everything will be up in a podcast form for you. Spotify, SoundCloud, two great places to go to, very simple places to go to hear things, download things, and you can check that out as well. By the way, I want to mention again that if you're not aware of the fact that we launched a new affiliate along the coast of South Carolina a couple of weeks ago. 93.9 FM, covers the coast of South Carolina from the border of North Carolina all the way over to Pawleys Island. And then if you're going beyond Pawleys, going south, our Charleston affiliate, ESPN Radio out of Charleston, Bobby Harton Station, the Big Kahuna, they cover all the way from Charleston to Pawleys. So we got the entire coast covered for you. You can listen to Bobby coming up from Charleston, then join us. You can listen to country music on WMIR 93.9, Carolina Gold, and then find us at 6:05. Also, the high school scoreboard shows up and down the coast of South Carolina. That's Sports Talk Coastal Network there, I guess we could say, between those two stations. So great to have 93.9 with us out of Myrtle Beach, giving us great coverage as far west as about Gallivant's Ferry. So you got a really good signal coming in from, you leave Florence, listening to us there, and then heading over towards the beach. You can pick us up there. So you can never, ever not find us here on Sports Talk, Bergie.
One of the things I miss the most by not doing high school football anymore is listening to the scoreboard show on the way home. It's one of the best things we've done on this network for a long, long time. And, yeah, I miss that. That was always a lot of fun, no matter where we were in the state. Mm-hmm. You can always find out how, if you're in the upstate, well, how did Myrtle Beach do? Well, boom.
Yeah.
Phil's going to have the score. Down here, how's Clinton doing? Boom, you'll have the score.
So, we love doing the scoreboard show. David Shelton is awesome. All the guys that call in with reports, awesome. Coaches we get on. Yeah, we love doing the high school show. Okay, it's a Talking Tuesday, and we've cleared the board of the calls so we can get to the head coaches, Sweeney and Beamer. We'll start with Sweeney tonight as the Tigers are coming off the loss to LSU. They're getting ready to take on Troy. We'll go past his comments about Troy, though he did say, Troy, great tradition, great head coaches. They're going to run the football. They like to run the football. which is different from what they used to be. They used to be a spread and throw it team. Now they're going to line up and run it and play physical. Well, you know all about Troy.
And committed a lot of penalties, evidently. They had 8 for 100 yards in their win over Nichols on Saturday.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And he said a pretty good defense, a lot of new players on defense, so they're having to watch the film closely to see these guys for the first time. After that, he got into basically almost everything was about the loss to LSU, kind of why it happened and how it almost didn't happen as far as it being a loss. Here's Dabo Sweeney.
We didn't do the routine stuff well. And, our best player, the biggest issue in that game was our best player didn't play well. And if that's the biggest issue coming out of that game, sign me up for that because Tua will respond. Promise you. So we all watched the tape and talked about how we go get better this week. A lot of good things, but not good enough to win the game. All came down to the last shot, and we didn't make it. So proud of how they competed, but we didn't get the result we wanted. But I know more about my team now than I did before. I got more confirmation than doubt. I've got a lot of confirmation on who our football team is, and I'd rather have this feeling in this situation than if we won 50-3 against somebody. I've got a lot more confirmation on who our team is and what they're going to be, not what they can be, what they're going to be.
How has Cade responded with the conversations that you had as far as you didn't play well?
Oh, great. I mean, can't hide it. I mean, routine stuff, basic, not complicated. Just simple read, simple progression, holding the ball, running out of pockets. Just didn't play well. And so, I mean, he knew before. He didn't have to talk to him. He already knew. He knows the game. He knows the game. He just went right back to work. So that's what he'll do. He'll respond. He'll bounce back. A lot of football. But, it's an opener. It's a tough opponent. And, sometimes sometimes your best player can have a bad day. He had a bad day to have a bad day. But he'll respond.
Does it make you rethink opening with the big opponent?
No. Heck no. I love it. Like I said, I know more about my team right now than I did because now I've got confirmation. I don't have any doubt. I got confirmation. I know what I'm looking at. There's a lot of everybody. I know what I'm looking at. That's what I do for a living. All right, I got confirmation on what this football team's going to be. I mean, really proud of our defense. Played physical, played tough, D-line and linebackers. We played. They made a couple plays. We got to clean up penalties. Disappointing that we didn't make one. If we make one of those touchdowns, and again, we got a second, their guy beat our guy. If we make one of those touchdowns a field goal, it's a 3-point game with them. And I went for it twice on 4th downs, and we didn't make either play. We dropped the slant to TJ, and then Wesco drops the slant, and then Cade doesn't throw the touchdown to Tyler Brown. The last play is wide open. It's wide open to tie the game. It's wide open. The easiest, and Cade just took off running. So it's disappointing, and sometimes you can try to do too much, and it's an opener, especially if you're not, playing well or whatever. But just more confirmation than doubt, and certainly wasn't just Cade. I mean, like I said, Wesco had 2 big misses, big. We had TJ. Had a big miss. He got to make. That's a contested play. That's just football. He'll make those plays, and he will. They will. They'll get. But we didn't even try on the run game. I mean, we didn't even give it a chance. So things we got to do better as coaches. I mean, it's an opener, and that's how you get better. Things get exposed early, and rather than game 8, it's right out of the gate. You're seeing you don't forget that. So I'd much rather have that. And again, there was a lot more good than bad. It's a 1-score game. LSU's going to score a bunch of points on a lot of people. They didn't play very well either. I promise you, they watched the tape on Sunday and they're going, oh, God. Glad they didn't throw the ball to that guy for a 50-yard touchdown. Nobody's around him. and that's the Reed. Boy, glad they didn't this or that. I mean, it's a few plays, but two really good teams, and both will have great years.
You said that Cade didn't play well, obviously, but when you don't even try in the run game, how much extra of a burden does that put on your quarterback?
So, yeah, we didn't do a good job helping him. That's the area that Garrett's got to do a better job in. Got to help him. Got to do a better job. And I got to do a better job making sure that it gets done.
Did some of the pressure they brought on Cade kind of was something he didn't expect?
They didn't do anything we didn't expect. They didn't. He created a lot of the pressure because he held the ball. He didn't throw it like the 3rd and 12. 3rd and 12 when he took off scramble. I mean, the read is Tyler Brown. He's the read. It's a 50-yard touchdown if he just throws the ball. But for some reason, he came off and then he started scrambling. So it's a base play. It's not even complicated. It's a very simple play. We got another play on the play that he threw to. He's got a man side, his own side, and he had the slant for maybe a 50-yard touchdown to Wesco. But he threw it right to Sapp on a double coverage. It's a base play, day one. And he just didn't read his progression there. I mean, it just eyes on the wrong thing. And again, sometimes you struggle, you just do too much. But he had a bad day. There ain't no other way to say it. I mean, like we gotta. If two ain't a dude, we ain't winning. Dudes got to be dudes. This is big boy football. So I mean, that's just the way it is. And I can't. I mean, he's not a freshman. He ain't a freshman. He'll respond. But like I said earlier, if our biggest issue coming out of that game is our best player didn't play well, we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
What was your assessment of Steph run out
Played
first,
well.
couple steps?
Played well. All them guys. Steph K-Part was disruptive. He showed up. Again, that's a tough physical team. The Tom Allen is a difference maker for us. A lot of narratives in the offseason. The only one that held up was Tom Allen and that D-line and them linebackers. The rest of them, none of them held up. All these great wideouts we got, great wideouts make them contested plays to win the game. If you're a Heisman quarterback and all that, and first pick in the draft and all that crap, you don't show up and play like that. So the only narrative that held up was Tom Allen and that D-line and them linebackers. And we got good corners. We had a couple of penalties. I mean, them guys. That's the only narrative that held up. That's it. The rest of them, everybody can just start throwing mud now because just bring it on. Say we suck again. Tell everybody we suck. Coaches suck. Cage stinks. Y'all start writing that again. Bring that on. Maybe y'all write that stuff.
I don't know that we've ever heard Dabo Swinney that direct and critical of players individually. I can't recall.
That's a good point. Normally he will call his team under the bus and run it over if necessary because Dabo is the master motivator with the media. He loves to talk to his team through the media. But you're right, Phil. I can't remember the last time he signaled out, Bryant Wesco and obviously Cade Klubnik and the run game and all. The only narrative that stood up was Tom Allen. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't have to write that Clemson sucks because, Coach, you just said it. You just laid out the reasons that Clemson sucked after game one. But he's right. I mean, they're going to be fine. They're too talented to have a 7-5 season, but there are areas that they have got to fix that LSU exposed.
Absolutely. A little bit of mind games he's playing there as well. He knows that. All right, now to Mr. Happy, Shane Beamer. After South Carolina won their opener against Virginia Tech, here is the Gamecocks head coach.
Just really proud of our guys. That was a really good first win. As I had mentioned leading into it, that wasn't an easy preparation. Getting ready for Virginia Tech, just first game, wild environment, neutral site, new coordinators, new personnel on both sides. It was a lot, and I thought our guys handled it well. Great start to the game, really good finish, some good in between, not enough of it, but when there was adversity, when a lot of teams could have gotten frustrated, our guys didn't faze them at all. They never flinched, they never blinked, had great poise, played really physical. That was a physical football game on both sides as well. Proud of our guys and the physicality they played with, proud of the effort that they played with. It wasn't always pretty, but you could never question the effort that they were playing with, without a doubt. Need to certainly be better, but really like the way that we finished the game to be up 2 scores, to get the ball back with over 4 minutes left. We were somewhat backed up. They had 3 timeouts. Everybody, we were going to run our offense, but everybody in the stadium knew we were probably going to run the ball a lot there just to make them burn timeouts, and we were trying to get first downs, don't get me wrong. But to do that, take over with 4 minutes plus, they have 3 timeouts, and never give the ball back was a great way to finish. And we'll grow from Sunday. There's so much from a character standpoint that we'll take from that game and grow from it and be better for it. A lot of freshmen that played in their very first college games, a lot of transfers that were playing in their very first game, either at the Power 4 level or here at South Carolina as well. So we'll definitely be better. Dang it, I know that, what's that guy on social media that counts all the as wells? I'm trying to be better today. So somebody sent me that one. I just did it too. So last one, I'm going to be cognizant of it. No more of those. I didn't realize I did that. And then I counted it. I'm like, holy crap, I do a lot of that. But injury update, Judge Collier and JT Gear are the only 2 coming out of the game against Virginia Tech that we're concerned about. I would say they are doubtful for this week, but thankfully it won't be long term. We were a little concerned about Judge, his injury being long term, but it wasn't and won't be. Don't know if they'll be quite ready this week, but we'll see. They're trying like heck to get back, and then looking forward to this Saturday night to be back home against a South Carolina State team that has so much tradition, so much pride in their program, and rightfully so, a team that's won multiple conference championships in recent years, played for the HBCU national championship last year as well, and there's some great football that's being played in that conference and across the country as well, across the country. So they do a great job. I've got a lot of respect for Coach Barry. We actually invited him to come speak at our high school coaches clinic this spring here in Columbia, and did a great job. I sat there and took a lot of notes because I see his interviews on television, or I watch him somewhere on TV, and just his enthusiasm and his passion, it's impressive. And he's another great coach down there in Orangeburg, in a long line of great coaches that have been there, whether it be Coach Jeffries, Coach Pugh, 2 guys that I have a ton of respect for and are great human beings, and Coach Barry. I don't know him as well as Coach Jeffries and Coach Pugh, but they're very, very, very similar. Great coaches and great people. They've got a team with a lot of new transfers that are really good players that have made an immediate impact, and then some great returning players off last year's team that won a conference championship and had a heck of a year. So we know that we'll get their best shot on Saturday night. I know they're going to be excited about coming to Columbia and playing in a sold-out Williams-Brice Stadium, but our players are as well. So thanks to our fans, one, for what they did in Atlanta on Sunday. That was awesome. The crowd that we had, and what a home game it felt like for us. So thanks to our fans for that. They were amazing. That walk that we had when we got to the stadium was spectacular. And then they were spectacular throughout the game, and we know they will be Saturday night. So it's amazing that it's already sold out. I know they're excited about coming to see the 2025 Gamecock football team in person. We are also, and looking forward to that on Saturday night.
Shane, after cutting up the film and everything, how do you think the offensive line, specifically interior, played? They had some plays, but it did seem like there was some struggles with run and pass block.
It was. We got to be better. There's no question about it. And as I've said before, David, some of that's on offensive line, some of that's on running back, some of that's on tight ends as well. But there's no question there were some times that we got beat at the point of attack, didn't have maybe the push. Now, there were a lot of times where they had 8, 9 guys up there around the box too, and we knew there were going to be some runs into some big boxes and things like that. Their movement got us a couple times. There's no question that we got to be better, but not concerned at all. Let's not lose sight. I think we were 4th in the SEC last year in rushing as well, so it's not like we've just gotten the crap kicked out of us in the run game. We ran the ball pretty damn good last year too, and we can't just say, well, that was all Lenore Sellers. We ran it pretty good. I can remember a lot of 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s where we had explosive touchdown runs where we handed it to a running back and he rolled up through there, whether it be LSU, A&M, whoever it might be. So we ain't starting that freaking narrative again this year. And I'm not talking to you. I just we can run the ball around here, and we're going to.
How special was it to have a play like that, the Vicari's play, with your dad there?
Yeah, that was a big moment, certainly playing Virginia Tech and to score on special teams with your dad in attendance, which he's in attendance for most of our games, but to be doing it against Virginia Tech, where that's where the whole Beamer Ball mantra began. You couldn't have scripted that any better. I remember in my dad's last game at Virginia Tech as the head coach was in the Independence Bowl, and it was against Tulsa, and the head coach at Tulsa is currently Virginia Tech's offensive coordinator now, which is kind of crazy in full circle. But I remember in that game, I think we returned a punt for a touchdown in that game. I know we scored on special teams. I think it was a punt return for a touchdown. And I remember thinking that night in Shreveport, because I was coaching as an assistant, how fitting it is that in my dad's last game at the Independence Bowl, because that was his first bowl game back in '93, and they scored on special teams, blocked a field goal, ran it back for a touchdown in the '93 Independence Bowl. Torian Gray was on the field for that. That I remember thinking that night in 2015, how cool is this? We're back in Shreveport, site of his first bowl game, and we scored on special teams again. And if y'all looked that up and we didn't score on special teams, I'm sorry, I really think we did. But I say that, then you fast forward to Sunday and kind of the same thing, like how fitting you score on special teams when you're playing Virginia Tech, and your dad's in attendance, and we needed it. We obviously we got off to a great start offensively, and there was a defensive struggle, and there's only so many more times that we can keep putting our defense back out there without producing some points offensively. And they've got good players at Virginia Tech. The quarterbacks are really good players, you guys know, and those receivers really played well for them the other day. So we needed something to happen on special teams. They punted, had a good kick. I think it was a 40-something yard net, and they had the penalty. So then I mentioned it in the post-game press conference that really liked the idea of them position even if we don't get a return here. And then it all just worked out, and what a great play Vicari made. I mean, there's so many cool things on there to point out. That, I mean, you got a guy like DQ Smith, who's a 4-year starter. He's out there busting his butt on a double team against them. There's a double team at the point of attack with Mo Brown and Colin Bryant, where they take a guy and they literally drive him all the way over to the sideline where I'm standing. And then Vicari, just the run that he made, the guys that 90% of the teams in the country, that return's coming back because somebody blocked somebody in the back. There were opportunities for some blindside blocks to blow people up that would have been a penalty or targeting. Our guys didn't do that. They were very disciplined, and that's what I was most excited about, just the discipline that we showed on the return and guys just doing their jobs. And we needed it, and certainly created a ton of energy in that stadium after that.
All right, there you go. Shane Beamer. All of Shane Beamer on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. Same thing with Dabo Sweeney. And if you like it in a podcast form, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, those are places you can go to find our podcast stuff. For the caller who asked earlier about Gamecocks in the NFL, here's the list. They are either on the team or on the practice squad. Most of these, I think, made the 53, but some are on the practice squads. Center Javon Gwynn, tight end Josh Simon. Why are you playing this? Defensive tackle TJ Sanders. Wide receiver Delvon Campbell. Running back Rico Dattle. Cornerback J.C. Horn. Should I mention the teams they're with? Gwynn and Simon are Falcons. Sanders, Bills. Campbell, Dattle, Horn are Panthers. Xavier Leggett, Panthers. Bam Martin Scott, Panthers. DJ Wanham, Panthers. Demetrius Knight, Bengals. Gage LeVardane, Browns. Raheem Sanders, Browns. That's Rocket Sanders. Jalen Brooks, Cowboys. Nate Atkins, Nick Gargiulo, Adam Prentice, Broncos. Kingsley Inabare, Keyshawn Nixon, Packers. Chris Lamons, Colts. Zach Pickens, Chiefs. Kyle Kennard, Chargers. Tonka Hemingway, Raiders. Alex Huntley, Cam Smith, Dolphins. Vershawn Lee, Vikings. Marcellus Dial, Patriots, so he's out for the season with a knee. And we'll give you the others in a moment.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clear and comfy this evening with a low temperature dipping down to 61. Tomorrow, look for more sunshine to go with a warmer high of 85. On Thursday, we get a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, we are dry all week. We'll continue to warm up as the week goes on, too. We'll see the low 90s by the weekend. Summer's not over just yet. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
The Point.
Hundreds of. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says the U.S. has carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela that was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. The president said 11 were killed in the operation. He said in a social media posting, the strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. The House Oversight Committee has publicly posted the files it has received from the Justice Department on the sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his former girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell. The folders contain hundreds of image files of years-old court filings related to Epstein and Maxwell. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 249 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Hi,
Hi, we're Glenn and Melanie Matthews, your neighborhood partners from Modern Exterminating. Since 1955, we've shielded your homes from unwanted guests.
Corporate giants, door knockers, startups.
No competition for our 3 generations of trust and expertise in pest control.
Choose local, choose family, choose peace of mind.
Experience the Modern Exterminating difference. Call 803-765-2315 or visit pestfreesc.com today.
We are Modern Exterminating. It's your home and it's our mission.
It's time to remodel. Actually, it's been time to remodel, but you still haven't started. Well, there's no better time than right now. I'm Eddie Springer of Trey Cow Builders, and we really do make remodeling your kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, or whole house easy. At Trey Cow, we'll help you every step of the way. We do first-class work quickly, cleanly, and affordably. Call 360-8211, 360-8211, or visit trecalbuilders.com. Trey Cow Builders, quality from start to finish.
Hey y'all, it's Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We're introducing Friday Night Prime Rib Special. Our great chefs at Flight Deck Restaurant have created a great prime rib dinner special, which includes a 10-ounce slow-roasted certified Angus beef prime rib dinner, served with 2 sides of your choice for only $22.95. And if you mention We Love Flight Deck, you get a free cookie or a soft drink with your meal. So come see us at Flight Deck Restaurant to enjoy a delicious slow-roasted prime rib dinner. While you're here, check out the new and improved arcade with over 33 games. We at Flight Deck Restaurant thank you, and God bless.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
All right, time to talk about the Cookout Southern 500, the big weekend of racing at the Lady in Black. The track, too tough to tame. Chris Bergen's got something to say about that to Josh Harris in just a moment. Don't want to put Josh in a bad mood to start things out. Welcome in, sir. How was your weekend?
It was a phenomenal weekend. You know, the whole week was great from time we opened up campgrounds on Tuesday when we talked to you last week and all the way through. It was a busy week. It flew by like it always does. But I think we put together a full week and weekend that our fans that came out had a great time, and our staff worked really hard. Obviously the racing, on Saturday with the Truck Series, you had Corey Heim continue his dominating season with a win, his 8th of the year. And then, on Sunday night, Chase Briscoe pretty much had the field covered in that number 19 car. So it was cool to see him get back-to-back Cookout Southern 500 wins. So all in all, not a whole lot to, worry about. We always will have some things on our checklist we want to do a little better next time, but our team did a great job, and I'm really proud of them. And now we get a little time to take a break and rest and relax.
Relax, play some golf, watch some football. I'm looking at a picture on NASCAR.com from the photo tower in Turn 1. It's an awesome picture, a great shot of two of the main grandstands there along the front stretch, the Pearson Tower and the other main tower. I don't recall the name. But my point is they look jam-packed. Did you end up with an absolute full house?
We had a great crowd on hand. Didn't quite get to the number we needed to be able to call it a sellout, but all in all, we like you said, that picture kind of shows it there. We had a great crowd on hand. They were all in the gates by the time the green flag dropped, which is always a goal of ours. We don't want fans waiting, outside the gate, still trying to get in. We do a lot of messaging to try to encourage folks to get in your seats early, try to give them reasons to get in their seats early with the pre-race ceremonies, the driver introductions, concerts, the flyover, all of those things. So really pleased, like I said, with the whole weekend. The infield was packed all weekend long, great energy and vibe throughout the whole property, and got a lot of momentum heading into 2026.
Absolutely. By the way, I took a hammer to my paid-for weather app. It disappointed me. I'm glad it disappointed me because that made for great weather for you guys, so I'm glad it was way off target this time.
Well, if you're going to be that off target, you keep that weather app. If I need to pay for it, that's fine. You just let it continue to tell you how bad it's going to be, and we'll take the opposite because, I had so many people. Obviously, this is only my third Southern 500 weekend. I had so many people tell me this is the best weather they've ever had at Darlington for Labor Day weekend, and it'd be hard for me to disagree. I mean, I was walking out of, staying in a camper there at the track for most of the week, walking out in the mornings, and it was 60s, felt great, nice crisp, wasn't ever too humid. And I think the high we got, throughout the week and weekend was maybe, mid 80s. So all in all, I will take that all weekend long, and, we've certainly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Josh, Phil wanted to brag so much on this paid-for weather app that he said it was accurate within a month. So I wrote down on August 5th what the weather forecast said for Labor Day weekend in Darlington. And according to Phil, it was supposed to be 88 degrees with plenty of rain. So he could not have been more wrong.
I think it was maybe like 84 as a high and plenty of sunshine. And then as the sun set, you had the temperatures dropping into the 70s. It felt great.
You forgot about the 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts that were supposed to be blowing across there as well. So I'm glad it was wrong.
Well, you might have picked that up if you were on the concourse of one of the grandstands. You might have felt some of that wind. They tend to become a little bit of a wind tunnel on race weekend. So if you measured it there, you might have gotten your 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Josh, can we get out and age the asphalt a little bit more? I don't know what's going on at the track here your last couple of races, but you've had two drivers that have just figured it out, plugged in, and gone away from the field. I mean, William Byron should have won the spring race, led 243 of the 297, didn't because of if memory serves, a bad pit stop. And then, of course, Chase Briscoe was just terrific on Sunday, 309 of 367. The only other dominant race I can think of that somebody just totally embarrassed the field like that was years ago when Martin Truex in that same number 19 was on one side of the racetrack at Darlington and everybody else was on the other side. What are you seeing from the drivers here that are allowing them to be so dominant here at the raceway?
Well, you pointed to one of them. I think that 19 team has a pretty good notebook, and I know Martin's dominating performance was not in the next-gen car, but that team always seems to show up and run well. Chase obviously won last year in a different car, and he admitted, in an interview this week recently that the first 10 weeks or so of the season, he was still trying to get adjusted to driving a Joe Gibbs car. And, we talk a lot and the industry talks a lot about, these cars are all very similar, but he has said there is a significant difference in the way the cars drove when he was with Stuart Haas and the way a Joe Gibbs racing car drives. Same next-gen car, but such a difference in how it drives. And so I think that just goes to show you, while there's a lot of parity in the sport, some of these teams have figured out different ways to make this car work. And, yeah, I mean, 2 races in a row where you've had drivers just go out and dominate a lot of the race. Byron didn't close the deal. Briscoe did. And I don't remember the exact year, but it was, the most laps led since maybe a race in the early 80s. It doesn't happen often. It's happened 2 in a row. Who knows what next year brings, but sometimes in this sport, that's what you get. You get a team, you get a driver that hit on the setup, they hit on the track position, they perform flawlessly in the pits, and they become really hard to beat. And I know that's maybe frustrating for a fan that wants to see a lot of passing for the lead, but when I was stepping back and looking at some of the racing throughout the field, you definitely had some guys able to move around, move up through the field. So I don't think there's any reason to hit the panic alarm, but you just tip your cap to those guys and see what next year holds.
Josh Harris, president of Darlington Raceway, recapping the Cookout Southern 500, where it may have been a black Sunday for about 70% of the playoff field. Josh, we talked about the good. How about the bad? Could you have ever envisioned that 10 of the 16 playoff drivers would not finish with inside the top 15?
Well, I think that probably speaks a little bit to the nature of this track and how difficult it is. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole organization didn't seem to quite hit the setup or have the speed that maybe they've become accustomed to having. You layer on challenges on pit road. We talk a lot, about this being a driver sport, but also a team sport, and it really depends on all the pieces coming together. Unfortunately, Alex Bowman has a bad pit stop early in the race and really was never able to recover. You had other guys, Blaney spins out after a little bit of contact, and other drivers that just, had an issue one way or the other. So right now, you come out of that race, a guy like Tyler Reddick, who came in, kind of got one of those last positions on points, has a great race, gets some stage points, and now he's 35 points ahead of the cut line after round one, while some other guys find themselves on the outside looking in.
So,
Phil, if you don't mind, I'm sorry, I told you I was done. I did have a quick follow-up about Tyler Reddick, and just to get Josh's take on the job he did, because he could have easily been out of the race on lap one. How difficult is it to have sort of that start, Josh, and to maintain your focus and be as competitive as he was?
Well, I think it's a challenge that these drivers all face, and kudos to Tyler for being able to kind of overcome that. I was standing down on pit road right near the start finish line behind the wall. I like to stand down there for the first few laps, and they take the green flag, and you hear the engines roar. And where I'm standing, you can't really see the video screen, so I'm just listening and waiting. And all of a sudden, you hear this, the crowd kind of react and a little bit of hush of the engines. And I'm like, what happened? And I find a way to see the video board that obviously Josh Berry took a spin there and got cars darting in and out. So Tyler was able to avoid a big possible costly situation and then persevere through it. And I think his teammate, Bubba Wallace, also, comes home sixth, had some challenges throughout that race. But overall, it really seemed like Toyota as an organization kind of hit on something this weekend. You have both Legacy Motor Club cars with John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones running well. So Toyota definitely had the upper hand this weekend.
So first driver to go back-to-back in the prestigious Crown Jewel event, Southern 500, since Greg Biffle did it. And as I check the history books here, not too many other drivers have been able to do that. Dale Earnhardt did it. Jeff Gordon did it. David Pearson went back-to-back. Bobby Allison went back-to-back. The point is, the guys who went back-to-back, maybe with the exception of Greg Biffle, and this is too young in his career, but, I mean, you pretty much have to be a great driver to win back-to-back Southern 500s.
You do, and, a lot of the names you mentioned there are legends of the sport, and Greg has certainly held his own. We actually had him back for the race weekend. I got a chance to talk to him. So Chase has put himself in some elite company, and I think he's showing why Joe Gibbs, went after him once it became evident that Stewart-Haas Racing was going to close at the end of the year. And it seems like they've, worked out some kinks from early in the year, and he's going to be a driver that they probably try to hold on to for a long time. I really like Chase. I think he's a real down-to-earth guy, a racer at heart. His story of, growing up in Indiana and then pursuing the different avenues of racing and taking a chance and moving to North Carolina with no ride. Like, it's a pretty inspiring story, and one that you like to see the guys that work hard, have some talent, and then ultimately put it all together to have some success. See that through.
Yeah, I shouldn't shortchange Greg Biffle. He was named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers back in 2023, so I really shouldn't shortchange him in that group. Last thing, we'll let you go after you've made the rounds of the track and the pits and the stands and the various grounds. How did everybody leave it? What kind of shape is the old lady in as she gets a little rest here?
Well, there's obviously a lot of black tire marks on the walls, which is customary, and the lady in black will wear those proudly until we get ready to repaint in the spring. But the grounds themselves look good. Appreciate all of our campers, everyone that came out. They do a really nice job of taking care of the place, cleaning up after themselves. Just as quickly as it all kind of rolls in, it's just as quickly it all kind of departs. So it was a great weekend here in the PD region. Had a lot of great support from so many people around here, and I'm very appreciative to everyone, you guys included, for having me on every week to talk about NASCAR throughout the season in Darlington Raceway. And we'll take a deep breath and do some recap and get ready for March 20th through the 22nd, 2026.
Yeah. Is that going to be throwback weekend again?
Yeah, I mean, we're still working through exactly how the whole weekend unfolds, but with a triple header, we're gonna continue to celebrate the history of the track and the sport, and look forward to getting a lot of our former drivers back around the track and interacting with our fans, just like we've been doing the last couple of years.
All right. And one last thing, how was the behavior of the thousands of people? Did you keep the police magistrate busy, or did they have a pretty easy weekend?
I'd say they had a pretty easy weekend. We always have a couple that try to test the limits and have to take a little trip, but overall our fans were really pleasant. Some had some nice feedback for me on different things we can do, which we always appreciate, but most everyone behaved, and those that got out of line, we quickly took care of them so that they didn't cause anybody else to have a bad experience.
There you go. Well, we thank you. Enjoy the rest of the week. Relax a little bit, but you'll be with us all through the playoffs on Tuesday night. We look forward to it.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Josh, as always. All right, Josh Harris. Bergie, as we go to break, come back with recruiting. I don't know. He didn't say it, but I kind of – did you take from his answer that maybe the throwback thing might not be a thing next year?
He wasn't overly excited about it, was he? Well, the problem is, and I've told him this, so I don't mind saying it, and you know how I feel about this, the throwback race was run this past weekend. If you're going to celebrate the history of the sport, do it over Southern 500 weekend. Mm-hmm. If not, I just don't see the purpose in it.
Yeah. And, there was some blowback from some people early in the spring about it. Yeah. All right, recruiting.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Major Billy Downer here from the Department of Natural Resources, and DNR is excited to announce the implementation of Go Outdoors SC, a new online licensing and boat titling system that you can access right from your phone. Through this new system, customers can purchase their hunting and fishing licenses, renew their boats, apply for lottery hunt opportunities, and complete electronic harvest reporting requirements. For more information, visit Go Outdoors SC at your local app store.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I'm not a case manager.
I'm a lawyer for over 35 years. I don't charge 40% for your injury in your wreck case or any on-the-job injury. Call 803-765-2968 and ask for Jim Corbett, or email me, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, for the experience of a lawyer handling your injury case. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968. jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Put 35 years of experience to work on your injury case.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot, and the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Well, actually, before we get to recruiting, let me finish running through the list of the South Carolina football players, USC, for the caller who asked. USC players who made NFL teams. Left off with the Saints: Kai Kroger, Spencer Rattler, Torricelli Simpkins. Dante Miller with the Giants. Nick Emanwari, Ernest Jones. They are with the Seahawks. And with the Commanders, Javon Kinlaw, Darius Rush, Deebo Samuel. Hard to believe Deebo Samuel is with the Commanders now and not with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. That's the recruiting report tonight. I'm sorry. Let's get to the recruiting report.
All the people you're about to talk about.
That's called
hoping to get to that point.
That's called putting your mind in neutral and going off reflexes. Let's get to the recruiting report, brought to you by Seawells. And, of course, for the very best in the catering business, that special event might be a wedding reception, a birthday party, a corporate outing, maybe a college graduation. Plumber, if you ever get there. You already got a C average from what I've heard.
You haven't heard anything.
Call the catering experts at Seawells, 1125 Rosewood Drive, 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. Daily luncheon buffet tomorrow. Quickly, what do we have?
Tomorrow, Southern fried chicken, carved applewood hams, and hamburger steak with onions and barbecue chicken. And talking about putting your mind in overdrive and in neutral, it's a roast beef Friday.
Oh, now you're talking. Okay, so Thursday on X, the news was reported that South Carolina running back commitment Amari Thomas was going to visit Florida State for the Alabama game. Spoke to him last night. He did not visit Florida State, as it turns out. He said he just changed his mind at the last minute. However, he does plan to get to Florida State eventually for a game. He also plans to go to games at Miami and possibly Colorado. As for USC, he'll be in for Vanderbilt and Clemson, those games. He had told us before committing that he would continue to take visits, but he said that the Gamecocks shouldn't be concerned. He says, I'm just catching some good games. I'm down with the Gamecocks. Nothing has changed, is how he put it. People inside the building are being real to me, being loyal, and telling the truth. So that is, he's also become pretty good friends with Oscar Attaway. South Carolina offered 2027 cornerback Kanaz Sullivan, 6'1", 185, with Stafford, Virginia. Greenville High defensive end Franklin Whitley will visit Virginia Tech Saturday. He was at Clemson Saturday. 27 running back Jalen Powell of Orlando was at Clemson Saturday. Basketball, in for an official visit at Clemson over the weekend, 6'10" William Stevens of Lake Norman, North Carolina. Brad Brownell offered him during the summer after seeing him play. Official visit was very good. He got a good deep dive into the Clemson program and went through the entire weekend visiting with the coaches and the players and watching them work out. Went to the football game. He said Brownell really likes him, thinks the program's a great fit for him, and he's been high on Clemson all along, but he's going to continue with visits. He's going to California this weekend for a camp. He'll stay over and visit St. Mary's on Monday. Then he's going to Vanderbilt September 26th, South Carolina October 3rd. Also plans to visit the school in his backyard, Davidson. That is it for recruiting tonight here on Sports Talk, brought to you by Seawells, available on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. On X, do a search and just type in ST Recruiting. That'll take you to our stories or our retweets of recruiting information.
I've gained some more respect for Amari Thomas. You know, I was always interested in the fact he said even though he committed to the Gamecocks, he was going to continue taking visits. He actually just said what, 90% of the college athletes do. Hey, I'm just going to see good games on the dime of the college. Good for him. Take all those visits.
Kid. Yeah, he's an interesting kid to talk to. He's very mature for a high school kid. And we'll see if he sticks to that pledge to the Gamecocks. Mm-hmm. All right, you enjoy Coastal tomorrow. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Sports Talk.